there was one slight issue that I had with Black Panther film.
Okay.
With T'Challa's character, I wish there was at least one scene or something, one little bit of dialogue or something that actually went into the power actually of his intellect. You know. Because the guy's a physicist, and the guy, he's not just like, oh yeah, I'm just like a bruiser who runs around. And
they softened him a little bit.
Now the thing is, his tone in general, as far as his seriousness and things like this, thankfully, you know, he was about his business.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as far as some of the other brilliance that he had and things like this, that wasn't his intellectual knowledge was not.
I missed that ass-kicking fighter that we found in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that introduction to Black Panther that we found in Civil War.
Yeah.
That guy wasn't exactly there in his own movie. You know, everybody whooped his ass in his movie. You know what I mean? M'Baku whooped his ass. Killmonger whooped his ass.
Yeah.
Even when he got out there and was fighting the border tribe was whooping his ass.
Yeah. but the thing is, though, with M'Baku, he could have thrown M'Baku over the edge.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying, in that first fight. But he didn't. It was like, dude, yield because your people need you.
What was your favorite scene in Infinity War? What was the one that you walked away and went, dude, that was dope. That was dope.
Oh God!
Outside the opening, dude, that first 7 minutes of the movie had me hooked, dude.
Yeah, well, that was very, very good. I think, like I said, that moment, you know, after he had won, after he snapped the fingers, and that was very interesting to me. And it's funny because it reminded me of my favorite moment in the last Star Wars film, where
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Where old girl went to hyperspace, and then all you heard was like nothing for a second, and those Star Destroyers
beautiful
were split.
filmmaking.
And it's exactly.
It's no.
Exactly.
It was beautiful filmmaking.
I was like, ooh,
but as a Star Wars
yes.
fan, I hate that movie with a passion.
Yeah. Well, but those kind of moments and those kinds of things were
Ryan Johnson
purely
shot a beautiful
unexpected.
movie.
Yeah.
The fight there in the throne room.
Yeah.
With the red and this type of stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Absolutely
and he actually
gorgeous.
used the slow motion moments in good time. Apropos moments as opposed to
I agree with that.
ridiculously like the 300 series.
But I hate the movie.
The popularized. But those kinds of moments, those quieter moments followed by something quite dynamic, because it could have been like he snapped his fingers and all of a sudden we just see everything in the entire universe like explode or whatever, and we show planets blowing up or other kind of stuff. But instead it was just
the glove was just decimated.
Yes,
the glove was destroyed.
Was
so
really
what did they do now?
Too.
I guess the dwarf, the Dinklage character.
Yeah,
remember he had like a pre-model or something.
Well, he had made it.
But who's strong enough to hold that? Nobody's strong enough. I guess that's where they're gonna start talking about Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well, once again, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Also, because within the Marvel universe, with Secret Wars, 2, and like I said, all this other kind of stuff, Black Panther brought the universe back together. So it's surprising.
I can't imagine them. Dude, the Secret
weird.
Wars, I was talking to my guys about this last night. The Secret Wars has so many characters in it.
Yes.
I can't imagine them doing it cinematically. It just can't be done cinematically.
Yeah.
100 and some odd characters.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't. They probably wouldn't. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that we've seen on film that we didn't know how anyone could visualize.
Yeah. Well, this was one of them.
Who knows? But yeah,
this was one of them. And for the most part, I would have to say I was very, very pleased with it. Again, I'm glad I went and gave it a second viewing. Where do you rank it in the MCU?
Oh wow. For me, it was the biggest, most epic, film as far as it was the most ambitious.
Yeah.
Because I also wasn't sure how it is that they would have used the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy. I wasn't really sure how were they going to fit. And
I loved them in this movie.
Yeah, they fit.
Their relationship with Thor was the bomb.
Yeah. And
Sweet
once again,
rabbit.
this balance with humor and
I thought almost too much humor at first.
Well, yeah, I still kind of think that it could have.
I thought it
could have had a little bit less
darker.
humor.
Yeah, just a little bit
darker. I think they
darker.
could have had a little bit less humor, but it's interesting because when everything did go the way they did and Thanos won, you're kind of like, wait a minute, I thought we were having a good time here, and you realize that the universe has been has been decimated. And you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So that's. It's a hell of a setup for whatever it is that happens next in the other film is gonna, make even more than this, because everyone's gonna be like, I have to know,
Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, and as we know, literature, the expression of literature on film, film is always different, and so we just have to see. So it's really interesting, crazy, insane, ballsy move with Marvel, and with Disney, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm surprised. Like I said, what it is that I got was something different than what I received, but I appreciated it. It was a story which I liked and everything. And it's interesting. We talked a little bit earlier. With this whole question of overpopulation and things like this, one of the best things that I've seen that's kind of addressed that was this BBC show called Utopia.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
Yeah, that was really, really interesting. So it's surprising. It came out like around the same time as Black Mirror, in my opinion. As good as parallel with Black Mirror. Okay. But it's one of these things where it's a hell of a thing to ponder and think about now. The idea of scarcity, and the idea, this idea of in creation of limitations and things, that there can only be so much for so many and things like this, and that there are no solutions. Whereas throughout history, if you're a student of history, there are various times in history that various peoples have had issues that they have resolved in an equitable fashion.
Right. And then there are other times.
Yes, that's true. But the thing is, with the resources and the experience that we have from being here in this particular time, we've had more than enough examples of how to solve a lot of things equitably.
Yeah.
But we choose not to, because a certain group and mentality have always benefited from that, and they want to keep everyone's minds in this deficit mindset. So this idea, once again, even that idea that then everyone needs to be wiped out because there's not enough for everyone, even that is to some degree a Neanderthal type of mindset.
I was telling you earlier that there are stones in Georgia that actually have inscriptions written on there that talk about I struggled with the word earlier too. Cutting the population of the world,
reducing the population. Yes.
And so it was funny when I was sitting there listening to Thanos talking about it. I was like, okay, there are people who actually believe that.
Yes, yeah.
So it made his philosophy almost more relatable.
Oh, well, very
much
so.
In more of a human kind of standpoint.
Yeah.
For me, the Winter Soldier, going back to what's the best one? Where is it ranked? Mm-hmm. For me, the Winter Soldier, which was like the Empire Strikes Back of the MCU. That's the pinnacle that's been set, And I always ask myself, after I saw the Winter Soldier, has this movie eclipsed the Winter Soldier?
Yes.
And so my question for this movie, for Infinity War, is: did it eclipse Winter Soldier? No, I don't think it did. I think Winter Soldier is still the best movie in the MCU. Mm-hmm. Now, by the same token, Black Panther is still my favorite movie in the MCU.
Definitely mine as well.
Mm-hmm. I originally had it set as Winter Soldier and then Civil War, both directed by the Russo brothers. Mm-hmm. I now have to slide Civil War back, and I actually feel very comfortable putting Infinity War in the second spot.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a very dynamic movie, and again, I would encourage everybody to watch, to give multiple viewings of it, because if you go back and see it for a second time and really see the depth of what it is that the Russo brothers built as far as this movie is concerned, especially once you get to that end scene and realize how much this was Thanos' story.
Yes.
And again, like I said, even with all the heroes there and this, that, and the third, and these folks that you've been following for 18 movies, you find yourself almost kind of rooting for the guy the same way you would root for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, they built that character, I think, that well.
I would love to, like you said, even if there probably wasn't a way they could have, had 10 of that 20 minutes or something.
Just a little bit backstory.
Maybe some more
little bit of backstory. Let's see how he got to this place.
Yeah, and I'm guessing maybe in the Blu-ray they might include some of that type of thing. Maybe.
I'm hoping so. Now the Russos keep talking about there's only about 6-7 minutes that they cut out the movie. That's a bunch of bull. Yeah. And they say that that's going to show up on the Blu-ray. But maybe they'll deal with his backstory in the next one. Or scary, what's really scary is maybe Thanos is not even the central character in the next one. That would be weird. But we will see.
Yeah.
We will definitely see.
You know, it's interesting too because I think about who in the Marvel universe, you know, could give, you know, Thanos a run for, you know,
his money. Yeah.
And there is only one who is, it turns out, after Black Panther, is my second favorite character in the Marvel universe, which is Galactus.
Oh, okay.
I freaking love Galactus. You know, his just. Jeez.
Hopefully they get it right, because when in one of those Fantastic Four movies, because they've done 3 of them and all of them are garbage.
Yeah.
And in one of them, he kind of showed up as this mist,
silly
shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Actually, there's a friend of mine who works with a company who's interested in doing a short.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say who it is.
Okay.
But I have a friend who and I'm not gonna say what company he works with, but a friend of mine who's interested in doing a short, like a short film showing basically Galactus's process of what happens when he devours, you know, a planet. But it's very interesting what they've done with his character in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Because with the Ultimates, you know, 1 and 2, you know, he's flipped. He does not eat planets. He becomes a life bringer. And there is a contingency that sees that as out of balance, and they want him to turn back into what his purpose was, which was to devour planets, and he fights it tooth and nail.
Wow.
And the kinds of things, honestly, I gotta tell you, you know, I enjoyed the Ultimates more than, well, the Ultimates and Infinity War, I enjoyed those more than probably anything else I've read in the Marvel universe. The Ultimates definitely, because of these talking about these very large concepts of infinity and multiple streams of reality and things like this in a physicalized way.
Metaphysics.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that you know, within the idea of theoretical physics, you know, there are multiple streams, of reality, you know, within M theory and
which is why people are talking about that. They feel like the time stone is how they're going to use to correct what happened, and I'm like, I think actually Ant-Man deals with things on a quantum level.
Yes,
and that's another way you can deal with things dimensionally.
Yes,
so you don't have to necessarily go back in time, but you can actually change dimensions on a quantum level.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be brought up in the next movie, which actually finally makes Ant-Man a movie that I'm like, okay, well, let me go see it. Because I didn't care that much about the first one.
Something else which is interesting, too. I figured, honestly, that I would have liked to see a little bit more struggle with him acquiring the Reality Stone. Because after he got that one, I figured that everyone was screwed.
I agree.
Because someone who could fold reality in various ways.
It was funny how he chose to use the stones versus the moments when he kind of held back on using the stones. Because I thought the exact same thing. Once he turned Drax into blocks and then turned Mantis into this stringy thing, I'm like, dude, once we're there, the world is fucked.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but just once. Now, this is one other thing which I have to say that I love possibly the most about this film. If there was any doubts from anyone in academia who deals with mythological storytelling, if there was any doubts that these films, you know, were not on the levels of modern myths and could talk about the various aspects of humanity and what makes us human, and if anyone doubted the poetry of these types of films, Infinity War, you know, proves it completely that it is really, that these stories are really a new mythology.
Depending on if it's in the correct hands. If it's in the right hands of the right storyteller.
Yes, that is true.
Because another storyteller turn it into just, okay, we're just going to do a whole bunch of action and we're not going to find meaning in it. Which is kind of like the Wachowskis, to your point. What the Wachowskis did with the Matrix series.
Yes.
You know, even though they stole that shit. But what they did with the Matrix series, they turned it into something a whole lot more than just being a summer popcorn movie.
Yes,
there was depth to what was being said.
Yes. But, you know, and it's so interesting, too, because, like, a lot of the things that we're used to seeing within myths, that like, with 5 stones, most people would think, oh yeah, it's like the 5 elements, earth, fire, water, air, ether, and all that kind of stuff. But instead, soul, reality, time, those kind. And I was like, ooh, once again, I was completely oblivious to so much that I didn't even know within the Marvel universe that those were the stones within the within Infinity Gauntlet.
Wow, okay.
And so once I did, I was like, oh my God, from a philosophical standpoint, that is quite far reaching,
Go see the movie or don't go see the movie.
Oh my God, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, see it more than once.
You got to see it more than once, man.
I know we have a couple of friends who be like, I saw it. I like Black Panther. That's it. But
does that friend's name rhyme with Chris?
But this is the wonderful thing though about all the different people who we encounter and know within the collectives of folks who we've interacted and worked with, because everyone is so very different, have such very different strengths, philosophies, things which to them are heartfelt that they want to express. And there's room for all those opinions and everything, which is great. But it's interesting how some things with some people, like you said, like Chris, it's like well, I just prefer this. But it's also very interesting the ways in which, in different ways, because we've all known each other for quite a while, that we grow and evolve and things like this. Because I remember Chris has said the birth of his son has taught him so much about humanity and so much about subtlety and so much about what people really
raising
do
kids will
and
do
pick
that
up on, and things like this. And it's like he's really grown in a lot of ways as a storyteller and everything. I'm looking forward to more and more things that he does as he delves more into those kinds of things. And like you said, he studied a lot of the business background and other kinds of things that are happening with Marvel. So the way in which he went into it, he knew everything. He expected everything. He wasn't looking for surprise. He was more so looking at it as far as execution. And there's some things that he apparently enjoyed more in how the story was told. Through with Black Panther.
Right. Well, I mean, it's all. I mean, ultimately, art is subjective.
Yes.
And it always comes down to, what it is that the artist puts out there, and versus where you are in your particular place in life, and how those frequencies resonate with each other. And sometimes it reflects off of you, and sometimes you absorb it. And like I said, I went in there with the particular mindset that I had on that Thursday. On a certain frequency, and it bounced off of me. Went back on Saturday in a different frequency, and I was able to absorb it and kind of take in what it was that he was doing. And it actually is it's an epic piece. What it was that they were able to do. There's, flaws here and there that if you were getting nitpicky, you could kind of pick apart. But overall, for the scope and scale of what it was that they were dealing with, I just thought that they did just an amazing job.
Did you enjoy the 3D experience better?
I did. I did. And it's funny because I think I was talking to you about when we went to see Black Panther. And I told you, dude, everything that happened there at Warrior Falls in 3D, I just thought was just amazing. And it was the same thing. I just feel like they shoot these movies knowing that they have to build something that gives you a reason to get up off of your butt, not watch Netflix, come to the theater and pay. And the 3D experience is the thing. The 3D and the IMAX experience is the thing that they're going for right now. And they've gotten so good at doing the 3D. Some movies don't fit very well for it, but this was one of them that I thought was just excellent. So I would definitely recommend seeing it in 3D. I recommend seeing the movie. John recommends seeing the movie. Definitely. We thought it was really, really, really well done. Again, I'm so glad that I did this podcast after I saw it a second time and not that first time, because I'd have gone back and kicked myself in the ass after I'd watched it and been like, what were you smoking? Because I definitely do appreciate what it was that they were able to put together. So if you like the content of what you watch, because we're going to go on and continue to talk about this, please subscribe. Make sure you share and like. Check out the comment section where I'm going to leave information about John Woods and Brightseed Collaborative. I'm going to make it a point for all of these podcasts that everybody who sits and is a co-host with me is going to be involved in the film industry in some kind of way, so that you get a different kind of approach. We're not just watching this as, fans, even though we are watching it as fans, but it's coming from a perspective of what it is that we do, which is make, films and web-based content and things like that. So thanks for joining us, and I will see you the next time. Thanks, John.
Great, thanks.
Right on, man.